Hey guys, it's Germany's most sad YouTuber here. So today we went out. Stop touching the camera. Das machen wir alles im Post. So today I wanted to try another one of the cameras I've collected. A Voigtlander-2BT1 film camera that's like more than 60 years old at this point. I was very excited. It looks great. It feels nice to hold. I was excited to use it. And the thing just does not work. So we rushed back home and I picked up this. Another one of the cameras my granduncle gave me, and I guess today we're making a video about this thing. Because the other one doesn't work, which I'm still very pissed about. It looks so great. Would have loved to use it. Anyways, let me show you what this is. So this is the Cosina Hi-Lite 402. I know. As I said, I got it from my granduncle. It's I don't know, very old. I'm not prepared at all now. I was prepared to make a video about the other camera, so I have no idea when this was released or whatever. I'm just gonna put everything on the screen right here. We have this lens on here. It's a 50mm lens with f-stop 1.7. Okay, calm down now. That was a sports car. We also have this. It's a 35mm at, I think it's f2.8, but who cares? Anyways, let me go in there and try to take my first shot with this camera. But first I think I have to switch the lens because 50mm is gonna be too close. Let's go. My first picture with the Cosina. Let's go. My first picture with the Cosina Hi-Lite 402. So basically, with this nice little, looks like a river, but there's no water in there. And we have this nice logs that are going over there. Yeah, f2.8 on 1/20th. Why is my phone bugging like a freak? What? Okay, I guess it's very dark here. Didn't think it was, but okay.
Yep, you heard that correctly. This is me taking a picture on a film camera with a very low shutter speed. I guess it wouldn't be one of my videos if the first picture I take was sharp.
Hope that it's getting what I want. Right, that was the first picture. Worked amazingly. You just saw me struggle a bit for a good while, but it's too dark in here anyways, so we're gonna walk a bit down this way and then I'm gonna talk to you about what problem I'm having with this thing. Problems, it's multiple ones really. So this doesn't just look very similar to the Canon AE-1 we tried in the last video. It also works pretty much the same. The focusing mechanism in the viewfinder is very similar, not exactly the same, but basically the image is split up in the middle and you have to get it to line up, then it's sharp. Also, since the last video, I told you in the last video, I learned how to zone focus, because with the Voigtlander camera I would have had to zone focus because it doesn't have any focusing mechanism in the viewfinder. So I can use it now as well with this camera, even though the Voigtlander doesn't work. The only problem is, this does have an internal light meter like the Canon AE-1 had, but it doesn't work. So today I'm going to use my phone and I'm going to use a light meter app on my phone, which is going to tell me when I point it at the scene which settings I should use for the picture I want to take. So now it's telling me at f2.8 I need to use shutter speed of 1/60th, which works great. Let me see if I can, no, that's too far down. That's great. Wind it up. Yeah, this should be pretty great. Hope I didn't shake the camera.
So you can just directly compare the pictures I take in this video to the pictures I took in the video I made on the Canon AE-1. I'm using the same film store, Kodak Gold 200, and I'm getting the film developed and scanned by the same lab. The only difference other than the camera is that with the Canon AE-1 I was using the internal light meter of the camera, and with this camera I'm using an external light meter. But I have the pictures here and I don't see too much of a difference there. I also didn't edit any of the pictures I show in both videos, although I think that before I post these pictures on my Instagram, I think I'm gonna edit a few of those. I never try to edit them too much because I like to preserve the character of the camera and the film, but there's some things I see here that need to be changed. Right here I tried to take a little selfie with the self-timer of the camera, and that's when I found out that there's something else that's broken on this camera, the self-timer. which gets stuck before it can activate the shutter. So my trusty cameraman for this day had to press the shutter for me. I also made sure to sit in the brightest part of the scene.
So we're playing it a bit risky. I bought this thing so I can give you some nice POV shots of how I take my pictures with my phone. But because I need my phone as a light meter now, I can't use it as a camera. So I'm just going to take a reading now, and it's literally changing every 5 seconds. Just told me 1 through 500, now it's telling me 1 through 1000, but I'm just going to leave it on 500. And now I'm going to just test out if this even works. So now POV shot time. Have fun, guys. Wow, it's so bright now. Honestly, I might regret this, but do you like the POV shots? Holy shit, my camera is crooked as all hell. I'm gonna regret this, am I? Guys, the recording is literally 1 second long. I took a nice 1 second video and then the camera went out. So this was absolutely worth it. I'm so happy with this. Let's just not use this today. I'm gonna use it when I'm using a camera that has an internal light meter and I don't use my phone. That's probably gonna be the smarter thing to do. So I found a nice bench. Yeah, let's just 125, 5.6, that's okay. Right, there is some people back there which are gonna be in my picture, but it be that way sometimes. Honestly, I really prefer this focusing mechanism over the Canon one, I have to say. Great. So I'm sweating. Let's talk real quick. So there is one positive thing and there is a lot of negatives. The positive thing, I just said it, but the focusing mechanism of this camera is really a lot better than on the Canon AE-1, in my opinion. Because on the Canon AE-1, I showed you this whole kind of visual depiction of how it works. You have the image split in two and you have to get it to be lined up and then it's sharp. This one isn't split in two, it's kind of split, I don't know how to describe it in English. Pattern. So it's kind of like split into a pattern, almost like it kind of looks like a diamond or something like this, where the image isn't split in two, it's split in a bunch of different parts, and that makes it much easier to see if your image is focused. You can really focus on just everything. I just focused on some trees, on some leaves, no problem at all. The downsides, obviously the light meter not working is pretty frustrating. I know that many film photographers don't use the internal light meters at all anyways, but I really like it. It just speeds up the process a bit, and to be honest, I just trust the camera to know what it's doing. Obviously, if it were broken, then yeah, but I do prefer having an internal light meter. And the Canon AE-1 I do. Design-wise, I think the Canon AE-1 looks way better. Also, this is a bit more dirty. I guess the camera can't do anything about that, but yeah, it's just, you know, kind of looks worse, is heavier, doesn't have the internal light meter, but the shutter sounds nice, and the focusing is way better, so that's two positives. One more thing. Before making these videos, I always do a bit of research about the camera, just so I know how it works and if there's any sort of history behind it and all this. And I noticed with this, when I googled the Canon AE-1, there was so many videos, articles and all of this about this. The Canon AE-1 seems to be a really, really popular camera. When I was looking up the Voigtlander Vitomatic 1, there already was way less. There is some fans of Voigtlander. There is some people talking about Voigtlander Vitomatic, but they're talking about different models like Voigtlander Vitomatic B. I see a lot of people talking about this. Not that many people talking about the one. This one, Cosina Hi-Lite 402, nothing. No videos, barely any articles about it. I did find a bunch of stuff about the Cosina Hi-Lite 405, which seems to be more popular than this, but it seems like barely anybody knows this camera, which makes it kind of exciting to have it. Let's hope that the pictures turn out nice though. We are really testing the dynamic range on this thing today. Might look horrible right now, I don't know. But there's a nice little like hut in the lake right there, and I'm trying to see to get a nice shot of it. Honestly, let me see what kind of settings I can use. Could I use maybe 5.6? Am I allowed? I am not really allowed to do that, so let's not. Don't want to get as many shaky pictures as I did last time. Really have to remember that this thing does not have image stabilization, because my hands are really shaky, I guess. Didn't know so far, but when I tried the other camera I found out my hands are shaky. Okay, I have to kind of be here in the middle. Okay, let's hope it comes out somewhat usable. Dude, I'm so pissed. So one big mistake I made when I was making the video about the Canon AE-1 was that I went to a spot where I've never been before. So I didn't know where's some nice picture opportunities. Is there even something interesting there? Which is why a lot of the pictures ended up a bit boring, because there was just nothing there. Not really my fault, because I actually planned to come to this place in that video, but there was some sort of music festival there, so I had to just find something else really quickly, and I ended up in a spot that was pretty boring. But I didn't want that to happen again, so for this video I actually came here beforehand. I already came here with this camera, and I just took some pictures around here just to kind of know where's the nice spots with some nice pictures here. So when I came here with this camera, I already kind of knew what I wanted to photograph. One of the things was this bench right here. I'm going to show you the picture, because there was some really nice flowers in the background here. Great pictures of this bench, the flowers, and I'm going to come here and photograph it on this camera, and it just got rid of it. They mowed it all down. I am kind of pissed about it. So now I have to pivot. Let's see if we can find something else. Great. So we're back to the spot where we started our little journey today. And I want to take 1 or 2 more shots, because the lighting conditions have kind of changed, and there's a bunch of interesting lights here now. I just want to see what the camera makes of them. I assume I'm gonna need a longer shutter speed, so I've already got my tripod. Wind it up. See that everything looks nice. I do. And hold it as calmly as possible. Right. It's the next day and we are back in a different place, of course. So yesterday I talked a lot about scouting out the place I went to before I went there. And this one I've never been to, but I guess if they just gonna take lawnmowers to the place I want to go, doesn't really matter, does it? We drove past here yesterday when I was driving Robin home, and I just said, oh, this looks quite nice. I'm just gonna go there tomorrow and shoot some more pictures, because yesterday we took 15 pictures, so there's still some room left on my film. Also, I think I got an absolute heat stroke yesterday when we were filming. I had such a bad headache, so today I'm wearing a hat. Learning from my mistakes, you know? I guess one thing I should tell you as well. So we're gonna try something a bit different today. So far I've always been shooting in full manual mode on my camera, because I'm a goddamn expert. Yeah? I took a course about filmmaking in college, right? I'm an expert. I can't be out here using automatic mode. I gotta be using manual mode and getting the right depth of field and, you know, the background blur and all this. Now, you're not gonna care if this back there is sharp or not when you can't see my face, right? Right, all of this expert stuff works nicely in a nice studio environment, right? But out here, one problem that I've been having pretty much every time I've been filming is that there's clouds, and sometimes I set my exposure while there's a cloud in the way, and then I think, oh, it looks very nice, and then I start filming, cloud goes away, and I'm blown out as all hell, because it's brighter now. So today we are gonna try shutter priority mode, and let just the camera adjust the aperture by itself. So at the very least, I'm not gonna be too bright, hopefully. And we're gonna see if this works better, and maybe from now on I just keep on using that mode. Anyways, I saw a nice sign which told me where like the nice sites are on this hiking track, and there's supposed to be some sort of lookout back there.
You're gonna see this kind of weird pink line going through some more images I'm gonna show you. I'm not sure how this happened. I thought it might be a light leak, so light getting inside the camera and onto the film when it wasn't supposed to, but it only happened on a few pictures, and it didn't happen at all on the first day I was shooting, only on the second day. Maybe it could also be lens flare, because all the pictures that have this kind of weird pink line were shot in very bright sunlight. And I also think they were all shot looking into the same direction, so maybe there's a certain angle at which the sunlight isn't allowed to hit the camera, otherwise I get this kind of weird line. But if you have a bit more knowledge about film photography than I do, then let me know in the comments what you think could cause this kind of effect.
Well, we're getting to the point where I'm really starting to feel like just like carrying around all the stuff. Well, really, I mean, yes, this thing is really heavy, bulky, not as good looking as the Canon AE-1, but I'm really more and more appreciating the focusing. I think if the internal light meter on this thing were working, this could very easily become my main film camera. And yes, I do have better lenses for the Canon AE-1, I think at least, that they're better. At least it does have the 200mm lens, which the furthest I can zoom in with this thing is 50mm, which is still fine. I did do some research yesterday after I got home, and well, I did find the light meters you can put on the cold shoe of a camera, so I could mount it up here. The cheapest one costs around like 70 to 80 euros, and you can mount them on here, then use the light meter on top of your camera to figure out the exposure and then shoot, which I think it is a lot of money, but it may be a really good investment for me, because in terms of the focus, there's the ability to focus on everything just really precisely, pretty much instantly, and really get the focusing right. And I mean, I may get the pictures back and they might all be blurry because I'm just wrong, but just in terms of how easy this thing is to focus, I really love it. So I think this may very easily become the film camera I like using the most, because of how easy it is to use. But yeah, the lack of light meter is really annoying. I know that you can also buy like a light meter that is just its own device that you can hold, which would at least free up my phone to become my camera. That still wouldn't get rid of just the whole process of having to take out a different device before taking a picture, which I really hate. I can't describe how much I hate this. Yeah, no, that's just not gonna work. Really, I think I'm gonna try the other film cameras I still have, which, who knows, maybe I like those more. This may very well turn out to be the film camera which I like using the most, and if that's the case, I'm definitely gonna look into buying one of those light meters that can mount onto the camera. Anyways, I've spotted like a nice little house down there, which I think is gonna be a nice picture. I'm gonna go down to F11 though. Tell me, let's frame this up. I have a really nice house down there, kind of framed up through this kind of plants here. I just want to cut off some different houses up there, which I don't want to have included. All right, great. Yeah, let's see how many more pictures we can get today.
So at this point I did go into the little village below the vineyard and I took some more pictures. I'm just gonna show you some of those while I talk some more. A few of the pictures I think turned out fine, although I'm gonna have to work on my skills of how to take pictures in a village or city, because I always kind of don't know what to photograph. What is this even? My favorite picture by far though is this one, which you probably saw as the thumbnail of this video. So I was driving home and had like 3 more shots left on the roll. So on my way home I was driving through this forest and the lighting was pretty cool, because it was like evening and some cool lighting going through the trees. So I pulled over on the side of the road and I tried to get a shot of the lighting and the car driving through it. And while I was taking this picture I kind of noticed, hey, you can kind of see me in the mirror of the car. Like, that's funny. Then I drove off. But then while I was driving I realized that that was the perfect opportunity for a nice mirror selfie. So I turned around, went back to the same spot, and then I took this. And I think this picture might just be my favorite film photography picture I've taken so far. For one, I don't really have that many pictures with myself in them which I really like. And right now with the film photography I'm doing, I'm also trying to get more selfies and self-portraits and that type of stuff, because I really want to have more pictures of myself which I like. And I think this is definitely one of them. But I also just like the way it looks in general, the colors, the light. And normally I don't really care too much about this background blur in pictures. Especially with film photography I usually shoot at the very least f5.6, so there's never really this kind of effect. And with all the cameras I've used so far, I never really liked the way it looks that much. But this lens, I have to say, really made this background blur look really nice. This is like the first picture where I really appreciate the way this looks. So I'm gonna have to try some more of that, for sure.
Well guys, I think this is a good time to call it quits. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I still have a very big collection I have to get through, some very exciting cameras that I'm very excited to try out. I really hope that I can fix the Voigtlander Vitomatic camera someday, that I can get it to work. It just looks so great, it feels so great to hold. I would love to be able to use it and to take some pictures on it. And I just hope I can somehow get it fixed, get it to work. And then I will make a video about that as well. So subscribe to the channel if you want to see that, and if you want to see the videos about all the other cameras I have. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Robin for helping me film the first part of this video. And yeah, I will see you. Hopefully not in like 5 months. Hopefully I can get the next video up relatively quickly. Thank you.